Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna learn about the IR sensor. We'll learn what an IR sensor is, how it works, where an IR sensor is used, its operating voltage and its advantages. Here I have two IR sensors and one microcontroller, which is the ESP32S3. IR stands for infrared sensor. A typical IR sensor module has 6 main components. The first two components you can see are the white and black parts. The white component is the IR transmitter. It emits infrared waves. The infrared waves have longer wavelength than visible light, which means they cannot be seen by a human eye. The black component is the IR receiver, which is usually a photodiode or a phototransistor. Its job is to receive the infrared waves after they bounce back from an object. A common example of an IR sensor is your TV remote control. If you've ever looked closely at the front of your TV remote, you'll notice an IR transmitter. It sends signal to the TV and the TV has a receiver that detects those signals. The third important component is the transistor. Its job is to convert the received signal into a high or low digital signal that the microcontroller can understand. Next up is the potentiometer. It is used to adjust the sensitivity or detection range of the IR sensor. By rotating the potentiometer, we can increase or decrease the sensor sensitivity so that it can detect the objects at our desired distance. The sensor has 3 pins. The VCC pin, which is the positive power supply. The ground pin, which is the ground or negative terminal. The out pin, which is the output pin. This out pin sends the detection signal to the microcontroller. Just keep in mind that the out pin of the IR sensor should be connected to an input pin of the microcontroller because the microcontroller receives data from the sensor. Finally, the sensor has 2 LEDs. The LED on the right side located below the photodiode is the power LED. As soon as the sensor receives power, this LED turns on. The LED on the left side below the IR transmitter is object detection LED. Whenever the sensor detects an object, this LED turns on. At the same time, the out pin starts sending a high or low signal to the microcontroller. Now let's understand how an IR sensor works. The IR transmitter continuously emits IR waves. If an object comes within the sensor's detection range, the infrared waves hit the object and bounce back. The photodiode or the receiver detects these infrared waves. The transistor then converts the received signal into a high or a low digital signal and sends it through the out pin to the microcontroller. At the same time, the object detection LED turns on. Now let's look at the second case. If there is no object within the sensor's detection range, the infrared waves do not bounce back. As a result, the photodiode receives nothing. The detection LED remains off and no object is detected. The detection range of a standard IR sensor is usually between 2 cm and 30 cm. This range can be adjusted using this potentiometer. Object detection also depends on the size and the color of the object. Larger objects are generally detected more easily. White colored objects reflect the infrared light better, while black colored objects absorb more infrared light, making them slightly harder to detect. Most IR sensors operate properly between 3.3 volt and 5 volt. If you are using an Arduino Uno, you can power the sensor using a 5 volt pin. If you're using an ESP32 or an ESP32S3, you can power it using the 3.3 volt pin. In this tutorial, we are gonna use an ESP32S3, so we're powering the IR sensor from the 3.3 volt pin. Some advantages of IR sensor are they're extremely cheap. You can usually buy one for $1 to $2. They're really easy to use. They're really small and compact in size. They have really low power consumption. They're simple to interface and they require only 3 connections, which is VCC, ground and out pin. IR sensors are widely used in many different applications in robotics, automation, security systems and industrial applications. Now that we've understood the theory, let's connect the IR sensor with ESP32S3 and test it practically. Now let's understand the code step by step. This is a very simple program and the best part is we don't need to install any external libraries. Let's start from the first line. Here this term means constant, which means the value cannot be changed anywhere in the program. INT stands for integers, which is used to store whole numbers. IR pin is a variable that stores the GPIO pin number where our IR sensor is connected. In this case, we are using GPIO 4 of the ESP32S3. This single equal sign means assignment. It stores the value 4 inside the variable IR pin. The command out pin of IR sensor simply reminds us that out pin of the IR sensor is connected to GPIO 4. Now let's move to the setup function. This setup function runs only once, immediately after the ESP32 is powered on or restarted. Anything written inside this block is executed only once. The first line is serial begin. This line starts the serial communication between the ESP32 and computer. Without this line, the ESP32 cannot send any messages to the serial monitor. The number 115200 is called the baud rate, which means the communication speed is these many bits per second. The next line is pin mode. This line tells the ESP32 that the pin connected to IR sensor will work as an input pin. Since the IR sensor sends the data to ESP32, the microcontroller must receive the data through an input pin. After that, we have serial print. This line simply prints the message IR sensor started on the serial monitor. It lets us know that the ESP32 has started successfully and the program is running properly. You will also notice the curly braces. The opening curly braces marks the beginning of the code block and the closing curly brace marks the end of the code block. Now let's move to the loop function. Unlike setup, the loop function continuously runs as long as the ESP32 is powered on. Everything written inside this block keeps repeating again and again. In the first line, we're creating an integer variable called sensor value. The next function, which is the digital read function, reads the digital signal coming from the IR sensor. The value received is stored inside the sensor value variable. Normally the sensor returns either high or low depending on whether an object is detected. Next up we have the if function. The double equal sign is called the comparison operator. Unlike the single equal sign which stores a value, the double equal sign compares two values. So this line checks whether the sensor value is equal to low, and if the condition is true, the following code runs. If the condition is false, the first block is ignored and the second code block runs. This second block means no object has been detected, so the serial monitor displays no object. Finally, we have a delay of 300 milliseconds. This adds a small delay before the loop starts again. Without this delay, the ESP32 would print this message extremely fast, making the serial monitor difficult to read. Now let's upload the code. We're simply going to connect ESP32 S3 to our laptop using a USB cable. Then we're going to go to Tools menu and make sure the correct board is selected. We're going to select the ESP32 S3. Next up, we're going to go to Tools port and we're going to select the correct COM port. In my case, it is COM4. Now simply click the upload button. As you can see, the code has started uploading to ESP32. Now let's look at the wiring connection. We're going to connect the 3.3 volt pin of the ESP32 to the VCC pin of the IR sensor. We're going to connect the ground pin of the ESP32 to the ground pin of the IR sensor. And the last pin, the out pin of the IR sensor, we're going to connect to GPIO 4 pin of the ESP32. Our code has now been uploaded successfully. To test the sensor, let's open the serial monitor. The shortcut key to open serial monitor is Ctrl+Shift+M. If you don't see any output, make sure the baud rate in the serial monitor matches the baud rate you're using in the code. Now you can see that only one LED on the IR sensor is on. This is the power LED, which means the sensor is receiving power. The second LED, which is the object detection LED, is currently off because no object has been detected. I'll zoom in a little so you can see it more clearly. On the serial monitor, the first message displayed is IR sensor started. This confirms that our sensor is working properly and the communication between the ESP32 and the laptop is successful. If you want to restart the program, simply press the reset button on ESP32. The serial monitor will restart. And since there's no object in front of the sensor, it continuously displays no object. Now I'm going to use another IR sensor as the object. I'll slowly move it towards the sensor. As soon as this object comes within the detection range, you'll notice that the object detection LED turns on. At the same time, the serial monitor displays object detected. This confirms that the sensor has successfully detected the object. Now let's adjust the sensor sensitivity. I'll rotate the potentiometer to reduce the detection range. Previously the object was detected from this distance. Now let's check the new range. As you can see, the object must come much closer before it is detected. So by adjusting the potentiometer, we can easily increase or decrease the sensitivity of the sensor. If I move the object slightly away again, you'll notice that the serial monitor changes back to no object. This is exactly how an IR sensor works. Now let's perform one more experiment. IR sensors can also respond to strong infrared radiation such as heat sources or flames, depending on the sensor module and the intensity of the infrared energy. Let's test it using a lighter. Now I'm holding the IR sensor in my hand and turning on the lighter. You can see that the object detection LED starts turning on and off. As the flame gets closer and produces stronger infrared radiation, the sensor starts to pick it up more consistently. At the same time, the serial monitor displays object detected. So that was our complete tutorial on the IR sensor. If you have any questions regarding the sensor, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.